today's video is just kind of doing whatever I feel like I want to, kind of hitting what I feel like needs to be hit. But I just hope you're all having a great day. And just remember how lucky you are, even if you're having the worst day ever. Like I saw a guy today in the store. I was getting something. He was buying all these teas. And I said, "What is this, a good flavor?" And he just said, "Yeah." And he said, "No, this is the best." He said, "Take one, it's on me." I didn't. But the point is, he didn't have to. And the point is, I judged him before. He even said this. I looked at him and I said, "Look at this guy." I said, "What the hell is he doing in here buying all this stuff?" Like. And that's wrong of me. And I feel like so many of us do that today. Because we judge others before we get to know them. I should have talked to them first. And then, but we just forget. We just look at people, judge them. I don't really know how they're doing or what they're going through. I hope you're all having a great Friday. I know I am for the most part. I've learned a hell of a lot today. You know, I was texting somebody, like, getting this six pack. I was just like, well, not exactly. You know, abs are made in the gym, but they're revealed in the kitchen. And you're like, what does that mean? And, maybe I have it confused, but think about it. If you go to the gym every day and you work on your abs every day, but you go home and you have, pancakes and fried chicken and all this other, crap that's made in oil and butter and just have a lot of it and all this bread and sugar, well, you're still going to be fat. Your body is not going to, you know, decompose that fat. Sure, you need sugar for energy, but there's so many other ways to get sugar than by having sweet tea or by having syrup or all this other crap. It just takes a lot of time. Like my core, there's still a lot there. And if I listen to my father about doing stuff when they're younger, it might not be. But the more I go to the gym, the more I watch what I eat, the more I train it, I could feel it getting stronger. I could feel formations happening. And it's just like, people just don't understand that. People work out every single day. But if you're not trying to eat well, and you're not trying to really focus on what you're doing, well, then you're just going to be a big guy with a solid core. That's great, but everybody would love to see an ab or two. And then I was on the bike, and I watched Chosen while I rode my bike, because why not? And, Matthew was a tax collector for the Romans, collecting taxes from his Jewish people, who were, you know, saying, well, you betrayed us, and how could you do that to us when we're your family and not the Romans? But he was simply doing what he thought was right, and he was providing for his family. So you're put in that tough situation. And Simon, known as Peter, He's like, how could I ever forgive Matthew? He's a son of a, he took from my family. He wouldn't give us more time to collect. Why should I be the one to forgive him? And Matthew and um, Peter talked to Jesus. They're like, I'm torn. What should I do? How can I forgive him? This man who worked for the other side that betrayed us. And, you know, Jesus told Matthew that forgiveness has to be given, and sometimes you have to ask for forgiveness, but the person has to truly mean it. So Matthew told Peter, he said, I'm sorry that I did all this. It was wrong, and I was just doing what I thought was right for myself and my family. And he said, would you forgive me? And he stormed off. And then Peter said, how? I've already counted 7 things that he did to me. Why in the world should I forgive him? And Jesus said, forgive him 7 times, 77 times. And he said, well, if I add it all up, I probably could get 77, things that he did to me. And he's like, man himself cannot understand his own problems. And it's true. It's better to talk to somebody that knows both sides of the story and that only wants what's best for both sides. So that way it'll stop the fighting and you'll keep going further. And I think in this world, the problem is with politics and, people's views, we much rather just argue and say, I'm right, you're wrong, and all this other stuff. But, everybody has an idea of what's right and what's wrong. So, look at everything from somebody else's perspective. Find out what you could do to be better and talk to the person you're having these problems with. Even if they don't want to talk to you, take time, chisel it down until you come to an understanding. Because otherwise, nothing gets resolved. It's very powerful. Call it at our last set here, and then we'll go do some abdominal punches, and then go get something good to eat. Another great day trying to get a anime body going Super Saiyan. Yeah. Yeah. That's all I can say there. Yeah. Wow. Get a little angry post going. Solid. Really impressed. Really climbing up that ladder. But I don't want to make my mind go up there too far and be like, looking good, take a load off. No. We have a lot more to do. We have a lot more chiseling. This is the 1%. Okay, we're at 1% right now. I gotta get that going a little bit faster. But we're doing it. And that's all I ask. Almost forgot. Have a great day. Thanks for sticking along with me. And share, like, comment, follow, whatever you want to do. It means a lot. You guys keep me going.